Hi, everybody. I'm so looking forward to spending tonight with you all doing some AFT. Let me know if you're on and we're all connected. AFT stands for Aroma Freedom Technique, and it's just the short way they say that. I'm just loving, this is the first time I've, look at that, love. I love AFT. I love this shirt. Somebody tag Lisa with Weathered Hanger. She's amazing. She has, she does repurposed like secondhand but beautiful, and her energy goes into all of her clothes, and I love her stuff, and I just got this today from her. Isn't that a fabulous shirt? Oh my gosh, I wonder if it shows up right ways for you guys. Cool. So AFT, I'm so jacked tonight. Make sure if you're just getting yourself settled and organized that you grab your Stress Away oil, which is a beautiful blend. Your that's funny, by accident I picked up abundance oil, which I love. Who loves abundance oil? But we don't need abundance for this exercise. Lavender and frankincense. Now these are the three oils that are most commonly used for the AFT technique, but I will tell you that Dr. Purkis originally developed the process using Trauma Life, which is a beautiful blend and a good one that every home I think should just have like on hand, because if something comes up for your kids or you or your spouse or a loved one that's traumatizing, and that could be a lot of things, it's a great oil to go and look, I've got some lipstick there, crazy. It's a great oil, there we go. It's a great oil to have on hand to help when you or someone you love has gone through trauma. Now, Dr. Purkis realized that lots of people don't actually have that one. If you just have the kit, you're gonna have most of these oils. So he looked at what oils in Trauma Life had such a powerful effect on the brain, and those same properties are in lavender, frankincense, and Stress Away, and that's why he uses them. Now, the process that we're going to go through tonight is super forgiving. So if you do not have those three oils, use what you have. Particularly, I have done it many times with just frankincense. So at a bare minimum, if you're on this call, you likely have frankincense, and if you don't have any oils yet, you're going to want your oils after this. Okay, I see everybody's there, so you can all hear me. That's great. Hi, everybody. So nice to see you. Hey, Heather. Spent the afternoon with her, so I feel really grounded. So we're going to dive right into this process. I'm going to encourage you to find a nice quiet spot. Make sure you have a notebook and a pen, because you're going to want to have that to follow along with the process. I'm going to invite you to post things in the chat box, which is one for my benefit so that I can make sure that I'm up to pace with you guys, and also so that you can, really witness your own expressions. And then at the end, there's an opportunity if people want to type, they can share their experience or ask questions. So we're going to go through the process, and then at the end, because many of you I know already do AFT and know how it works, so for your sake, we're going to go through the process, and then at the end, I'm going to really break down for you how it works. I do want to share with you that it was developed by a psychologist, if you didn't do any reading below, Dr. Benjamin Purkis. He was a clinical psychologist. He is a clinical psychologist, and he started to incorporate oils in his practice. And he found that they were really beneficial for using people with trauma, who had been through trauma. And he developed this technique that he was working them through. And he's so brilliant, and I'm so grateful that he just said, like, why are we saving this process for behind closed doors with therapists when, like, everybody has stuff every day that they're taking on, and it's causing them stress, it's causing them anger, it's causing them frustrations, dis-ease emotionally, which leads to dis-ease in the body. And so he started to teach classes and wrote books so that this is available to everyone. So I basically today, and I'm sharing this with you so you know how simple this is, I'm following along with the process in a book, step by step. You can get his books, I think you can get his books even off Amazon or Abundant Health or Life Science Publishers. This is just a quick guide. I did my first AFT with Dr. Purkis, I don't know, 3 years ago, and since then have worked more and more with him and worked with groups of people and fallen in love with it. So what you're going to be in for tonight is probably going to take us 20 to 30 minutes, and then there'll be questions. But once you've gone through this more than once, and you guys let us know, people who do AFT all the time, you let us know, once you get the process down pat, you can do it with yourself, even within 5 to 10 minutes, because it's a series of questions. So just so you know what you're in for. Okay, is everybody ready? Feel free to grab any oil you want. I'm going to use Northern Lights Black Spruce. Tree oils for me are incredibly grounding. We are going to get ourselves really grounded in first. It's important that we get ourselves relaxed for this process because we're doing inner emotional work. And what that means is that we want to get connected into our body and out of the headspace, which is where we spend all day long. So take some oils. Let's take some deep breaths, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. One thing I love to do is when you inhale, closing your hands with your oils, exhaling, opening your hands. Inhaling, closing your hands, exhale, opening your hands. And just follow your own breath coming into your body. Start to notice if you can bring your exhales and your inhales to the same pace. Even inhales and even exhales remind our bodies that we are safe. And tonight you are certainly safe, and you might even want to remind yourself, I am safe. Breathing in your oils. See if you can imagine in your mind's eye those oils moving down your throat, into your lungs, down through your torso, right out, down through your feet, grounding into the earth. These oils have come from plants from the earth. See if you can connect your energy down through the floor where you are, down into the earth. And I want you just to take a minute and let come to mind something today that brought you joy. Just let it come to mind and let it float out, and just notice what that does for your body. And can you let come to mind something you are grateful for? See if you can become aware as you think of that, what your heart feels like. As we learn to listen into our bodies, we can find that we can ask ourselves questions, and the answers we can feel if we want to move towards something, or something feels good, by just becoming aware of the energy in our body when we think about it. And as you're sitting here, imagine for a moment and notice what happens with your heart. That you can't find your keys and you need to get to an appointment. And you're looking everywhere, at the doorway and in your purse, and you're searching through your car and you can't find your keys. Just notice what even hearing that and thinking about that does to your heart. It might get quicker. It might get erratic. Just bringing yourself back, now that you've noticed that, into a safe spot. Even inhales and even exhales. Thinking about something that has happened in the last year that you're really proud of yourself for. And noticing how that feels in your heart. And the first thing we're going to do now that we're connected into our body and we're listening into our body is coming up with something that we desire, that we're going to work on for this AFT process. So we want to set a goal or intention. And the reason it's really important to connect into that heart space is often we have goals or intentions that are other people's for us. They're not sacred to us. And so the theme of this AFT is around sleep, sadness, and stress. And we wanted to theme it around that because often when we're not sleeping, when we feel overwhelmed with sadness and stress, there's a state that we desire that we can't get to, or we feel we can't get to. So when you consider your intention, can you consider the desired place you want to be? And I want you to think about it and write it out, and you can share it in the chat. Think about it in terms of present tense wording. So something like, I am able to sleep 8 hours a night, or I have a harmonious relationship with my spouse, or I have a harmonious relationship with my parent. Whatever is causing you stress, can you think about what your desired state in that situation is? If something's causing you sadness, maybe you've lost someone close to you, and so your desired state is, I am able to honor the time and love that I shared with this person. And once you've got your positive intention, can you put that in the chat box so I know that you guys have got it? And if you're not sure and you're like, I don't know how to put this in a positive intention, put I need help and put where you're at, and I'll help you massage it. So your desired state might be around a goal you have in your business. It might be a relationship thing. It might be a health goal. And because you're struggling with something health-wise, you're feeling sad or stressed. And so maybe your health goal is, I am free from craving sugar, or I am healing my body daily with exercise. I am able to be a more calm individual with less stress crowding my mind and body. Awesome. I love it. My one encouragement is that rather than with less stress crowding my mind and body, what would be the positive spin on that? So if you had less stress crowding your mind and body, you would have what? More freedom in my mind and body. Can you change that wording into a positive one? Because we're going to work with this intention through the AFT process, okay? Let me know, Melissa, what you think of that. I am able to balance my life so I can give myself adequate rest. Beautiful. I am healing my body daily with better choices. Great. I have healthy boundaries. Awesome. My desire is to be strong. Really great stuff, guys. Okay, awesome. You guys got it. But if somebody's struggling, let me know. The more specific it is, the better. And the next thing I want you to think about is this goal a little bit out of reach, or are you already living that? Because if it's like, yeah, I do that already, then stretch yourself. What I want you to consider is, on a scale of 1 to 10, your desired state that you desire, if on a scale of 1 to 10 of it actually manifesting itself into reality, 10 is like, yeah, I can totally do that. I can do this. And 0 is like, that's never going to happen. We're looking for something that is a 7 or lower. Okay. So if you're like, I make daily healthy choices so my body's strong, and you already do that, choose something harder. Okay. I rise above judgment of others and focus on relationships that align with my values. Great. I am full, confident, and proud. I'm healing my body with healthy food choices and daily movement. Great. Giving myself time. I have less stress in my life because I'm able to be calm. Okay, again, I want you to look at, if you have less stress, what do you have? So I have more calm, or I am calm because or how about just that? I am calm. Play with that, Melissa. Try to have positive intention. Okay, so once you've got it, I want you to write that on your piece of paper. This is what the meat, the reason we spend time here is this is the meat we're going to work through this process on. Make sure that's written on your paper, because you're going to need to revisit it, okay? And then let's come back into our bodies, breathing in your oils. I want you to say that to yourself and ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is this to manifest in my life? And share that in the chat. 10 being like absolutely, 0 meaning like, man, I'm already a hot mess. I don't know if I can do it. What's the number? And trust what bubbles up from inside you. This is not an answer from your head. The first number that comes to mind. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you going to be able to manifest that desired state? Now again, if it's already an 8, I encourage you to try something a little juicier, okay? Some other state that you're striving for. A goal that's a little bit harder and a little bit out of reach. Like I'm able to forgive my coworker for something that happened, and I'm able to forgive people. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now saying that to yourself one more time in your mind's eye, whatever your desired state is. You can say it out loud because I can't see you actually. You don't have to say it inside. You can say it out loud. And I want you to listen and notice for the first negative voice that comes to mind to tell you why it can't happen. Write that down on your paper. You don't need to share that. Write it down on your paper. The first negative voice that comes to mind, common ones are, that can't happen. You're not smart enough. You haven't done it yet. Why is it going to happen now? You don't have enough willpower. You're not pretty enough. Whatever it is, what's that negative voice? Write that down on your paper. You're going to lose your temper. And notice when you hear that voice, see if you can actually see whose voice you hear. And if you want to share that, totally optional. If you want to share that, you can. It's often a parent's or superiors. And for me, it's often my own voice. I can hear my own voice telling me why something can't happen. I want to have a harmonious relationship with my daughter. Well, that'll never happen. You yelled at her tonight, Yvonne. I can hear my own voice tell me why it's not going to happen. Okay, so you listen for the objection. Now, when you hear that objection, I want to invite you to identify how it makes you feel when you hear that, okay? Feeling words are hurt, sad, mad, guilty, shameful, afraid, vulnerable, discouraged. And you can share this in the chat if you would like to. How does it make you feel when you hear that voice? Powerless, isolated, confused. Just one word. What is the negative feeling you get when you hear that voice? And then I want you to check in with yourself. Where in your body are you feeling that emotion physically? And if you don't know, sometimes if you just go, where am I feeling that? Your hand will go to the place. It might be your head or your jaw or your stomach or your hips. For me right now, it's right here. Where in your body are you feeling that emotion? And then I want you to close your eyes and I want you to let your mind drift to an earlier time. It might have been recently, like today or this week, or it may have been way in the distant past, where you felt the same feeling in your body. You don't need to judge whether you found the right memory. The first one that comes up is the right one, even if you don't understand why. So go back to a time in your past where you felt the same physical sensation. And if a whole bunch of memories come, and maybe they're all related to university or work, just label it as if it's a movie. Memories at work, memories at school. And once you've got that memory, this is where we're going to use our oils. You're going to take a drop of frankincense, a drop of stress away, and a drop of lavender, one of each, in your hands. Rub them together, and I want you to breathe them in as you visit that memory in your mind. Breathe them in as you go back to this place in your mind. The time when you felt the same way in the past. Make sure your eyes are closed and just focus on a snapshot, a moment of that memory. He said, she said, and then they slammed the door, whatever it is. Breathing in your oils. And as you visit these memories, feelings may come up. Emotions may come up. Tears may come up because maybe it's an emotion that's been stored for a long time. Keep breathing in your oils and remember that no feeling lasts forever. They are waves of emotion. And just start to notice your thoughts. Notice if there's anything shifting, or maybe your mind jumps around to a different memory. Maybe it starts to recede or get fuzzy. See if anything changes as you're visiting that memory, and feel free to put that in the chat. See if there's anything new that you never noticed before. You're like, oh, I never thought of it that way, or some part of that memory you hadn't noticed. What is the shift that comes for you as you breathe your oils? As we smell in the oils, they disrupt the memory complex itself, which means the oil stimulates a new feeling, which dissipates the previously identified feeling that you have matched to that memory. Two different feelings cannot occupy the same space at the same time. So that memory, it changes the way that memory is stored in your body. Okay, so that is one round of AFT. Now I'm going to invite you to go back and revisit your original intention. You guys can say it out loud. Look at your piece of paper, read your original positive intention out loud to yourself. And then I want you to write down on your piece of paper, or you can share with me in the chat, how likely that state is to manifest. 10 being, yeah, I can totally do that. 0 meaning that's never going to happen. Your number might go up or down. There's no wrong here, okay? And share your number in the chat box once you've got it. And then we repeat this cycle. So we say it out loud, and then we listen in for the first negative voice that comes to mind to tell you why that's not going to happen. And write down on your piece of paper what that voice says. The other person won't agree to that. She's never going to forgive you. That's not the type of person they are. Listen for the first objection that comes to mind and just trust what comes up. And then I want you to ask yourself, how do I feel when I hear that voice? How do I feel? This is the trickiest part for some people because we're not used to identifying our feelings. But I really want you to see if you can name it. And you're welcome to share it if you'd like to. I'm going to list a few. How do I feel when I hear that voice? Cut off, panicked, humiliated, lonely, apathetic, anxious, awkward, enraged, angry, betrayed, provoked, irritated, resentful, shocked, traumatized, suspicious. What's the feeling that comes up for you when you hear that voice? Naming the feeling is a critical part to this process. Really important you name it. It is stored in your body. Which brings us to the next part. Where in your body are you feeling that feeling? Where in your body do you feel that feeling? Let your hand guide you there. And once you've found that spot in your body, can you let your mind drift to a time in the recent or distant past where you felt that same sensation in your body? There'll be a memory that'll come up and you'll be like, oh, I felt that same way. Now, some of our memories go way back before our conscious memory to childhood or maybe in the womb. And so if you can't quite grasp the memory, or maybe it's so overwhelming you're being blocked from it, but you can hold that feeling, just stay with the feeling. It's okay. And once you've got the memory, you take your drops of frankincense, stress away, and lavender, one of each in your hand, and breathe them in as you revisit that memory. Breathe them in and just notice what happens to the memory as you visit it and breathe in your oils. See if you can see any light coming in or the memory shifting or receding. See if there's any shifting to the feeling in your body. Maybe you notice new beliefs starting to emerge, or creative ideas or solutions to problems. As we breathe in these oils, this can often be where gold comes up. So make sure you've got your pen, and if you have some great idea or insight, write it down. Or you might possibly be feeling stuck and shifted to be upset in a different way. There's no wrong way for your body to be responding here. We are rewiring the way things are stored in the body. Okay, and now I want you to look down at your paper and read your intention out loud again. And rate on a scale of 1 to 10, and you can share that in the chat, how likely that is to manifest. 10 being like, yeah, absolutely, that's happening for sure now. I've dealt with some stuff that was holding me back. And 0 is like, that ain't never gonna happen. What is the number for you? Just trust what comes up. I also just want to touch base here that sometimes after a couple rounds, someone reads their intention and then they're like, that's actually not what I want. That's actually not, I thought it was what I wanted, but it's actually not what I want. I want this other state instead. So maybe you were like, I want to feel confident enough to public speak at this event next month. And then as you're going through this, you're like, actually, my heart's not really even into that event. It's okay if as you're going through this exercise, you have clarity come to you as to what you desire. And so I don't know if anybody out there needed to hear that, but if you did, then it's okay for your desire to shift. Okay, so you guys have your number. Now, we're going to do another, this is called a round. We're going to do another round, okay? I want you to state that out loud to yourself, and I want you to listen for the first negative voice that comes to mind as to why that can't happen. And then I want you to identify how you feel when you hear that negative voice. Hesitant, discouraged, heartbroken, hopeless, lost, startled, surprised. Can you name that feeling? How do you feel when you hear that voice? And feel free to share that in the chat. What is the feeling you get? It's so important to name that feeling. Often we just think we're always angry or we're always sad, but really there's like this wide range of emotions we could be experiencing. And the different emotions are stored in different places of our bodies. So once you've got how you feel, I want you to ask yourself, where in my body am I holding this feeling? Where in my body am I holding this feeling? You can let your hand go there. Or you may notice a specific posture, like when you feel that way, you're like, become aware of what your body does when it feels that way. And then I want you to drift to a time in the recent or way distant past, could be long ago, where you felt the same way. And try to find a snapshot memory, a moment in time. So not just, arguing with my spouse, but like a specific argument you had. You remember, you were on holidays, you guys were in the car. Go to the specific spot. And when you've got that memory, take a drop of your frankincense, stress away, and lavender, and breathe in your oils as you revisit that memory. Keep breathing in your oils and see what you notice is happening to that memory. What do you notice happens to that memory? Do the colors shift? Does the light shift? Do they soften? Is there new awareness you have? Feel free to share. You may notice the energy in the body physically start to shift, to soften. This is how we become masters at learning to talk to our bodies and listen to our bodies, mostly listen to our bodies. Your body is sending you messages. Notice if there's any new beliefs starting to emerge, any new light breaking through, or new creative ideas. Again, this is where the golden ideas come through because you've cleared away a layer of emotion. As the original image fades and the feeling of your body softens, there may be new perspectives come to mind. Okay, and then I want you to look down at your attention and read it out loud to yourself. Remember, I cannot hear you, so you can read it to yourself. And rate again how likely it is to manifest. 10 meaning like, yeah, I've got this. 2 or 3 meaning like, man, I still feel so discouraged to reach that state. And share your number. And I want to share with you guys that our brain's job is really the opposite of the heart's job. Our brain's job is to keep us safe, to keep us alive, right? Keep us not getting into trouble. And that's a good thing. But there's things that we need to connect with our heart in order to really find joy and guidance in. And that's what this inner process is doing, is getting guidance from our heart, which is this incredibly dynamic energy powerhouse in our body. Okay, so I'm going to share with you that if your number is like a 7 or 8, I don't know, if it's lower than like a 7, so it's a 6 or 5 or 4, 3, 2 or 1, if you're going through this process with yourself or with someone else, you would do a series of that again. For the sake of everybody's evening, that's the last round we're going to do. But just so you know, and if your numbers are lower and you want to connect after this call and do another round, I'm happy to do that. But I want to take you into the final step of this. And the final step is, in this new place, looking at what you're trying to manifest, this new state that you've created, you've shed some layers. I want you to think about what positive words come to mind when you think about what it is you desire. And I'm going to just give you a few, and I want you to write down 3, 4, 5 if you want, and we'll narrow it down. What are the new positive feelings that come to mind for you when you read this to yourself? You might have your own. I'm just going to read some. powerful, secure, peaceful, energized, creative, fulfilled, purposeful, happy, loved, content, nourished, affluent, rested, light, peaceful, inspired, calm, clear, joyful, alive, radiant, bright, healthy, strong, capable, knowing, full, ecstatic, solid, beaming, valuable, vibrant, sexy, luxurious, unstoppable, secure and limitless, fearless. Okay, if you've written down quite a few, I want you to circle 3. I want you to pick 3 out, because the most important thing is you've cleared away for some energy, and now we want to really capture this new state that you've created in your body towards your desired outcome. So write down 3. You're welcome to share it. I'm going to type something here in the comments. Okay, so once you got your 3, I want you to put them into the blanks that I've put there, and I'm going to go through it verbally, but so you guys, visual learners, you can see it. I want you to take your 3 words, and we're going to create a powerful affirmation from this new state. So what you're going to do is plunk your 3 words into the blanks that I have there. So it looks like this. Let's say your words, I'm going to do it with you. Let's say your words were powerful, calm, and trusting. You're going to choose one of your 3 words to go in the blanks of I am blank, I feel blank, and whatever your manifestation was. Let's say mine was, really healthy, vibrant relationship with my daughter. I might say a healthy, vibrant relationship with my daughter is blank. So mine might look like I am calm, I feel trusting. A healthy, vibrant relationship with my daughter is powerful. If powerful, calm, and trusting were my 3 words, okay? So play around with that, and that's how we're going to make our affirmation. And feel free to put it in the chat box whenever you write, in particular, even with the internet. There's a bunch of us watching this tonight. There'll be people watching the replay. And when we put our intentions out there like that, that raises it for everybody, because collectively our intention tonight is like a high vibe intention to raise up everyone to their desired state. And so it's just more and more powerful when you share this positive stuff, okay? So write it down in your notes. In fact, I put sticky notes all over your house with it. And share it there if you'd like. And then I want you to grab another oil from your oil shelf, an oil that you're just feeling drawn to. So when you go there and you're saying your affirmation to yourself and you're drawn to an oil, I want you to grab it. And I'm going to do that too. So I chose Envision. Tell me what you guys chose. I'd love to know what you chose. And I want you to take that oil once you've got your affirmation written out. So it should be something like, I am, Anita, I'm going to play with yours. I am powerful. I feel valuable. And having a balanced lifestyle where I have lots of time for rest is fearless. Something like that. I don't know what your intention was, but awesome. Okay, once you've got your guys' affirmations, you grab your oil. And what I'm going to invite you to do, remember, I can't see you guys, is to put that oil in your hands and breathe it in as you say your affirmation out loud. Again, I can't hear you. Breathe it in, repeating your affirmation out loud. Now, there's really powerful ways to do this. Your hands in the air like this is a really energetically powerful way, especially with your fingers all extended. These are all like antennas of energy. That's why there's so many pressure points in our hands And in Chinese medicine, you know, those are meridians. So if you extend your hands out, make sure those fingers are vibrant and alive and charged out, repeating your affirmation to yourself. Another really powerful way is to stand up with your hands on your hips. This is Tony Robbins stuff, and he calls it Superman, and that chest is open and lifted. That is like receiving and giving energy out of this heart space, which we know is this powerful energy source in the body. So breathing in your oil, standing in a way that feels powerful, keep going, repeating your affirmations, a minimum of 7 times out loud, guys. Really anchoring this state in, keep going over my voice and knowing that at any point you can smell this oil and revisit this powerful state, revisit this more empowered state of moving towards your desired outcome. Each time you hear these words, you can revisit this place you create in your body of more space, and you can use this oil to remind you to move towards your goals. One of the things that I love about using oils for anchoring is that, let's say your goal was around forgiving, you know, having more forgiveness in your life so that you could feel more free. And then you get triggered by someone, right? And you can go back to your oils and your affirmation and come back to this desired state, and then make a choice from there. Then make a phone call from there. Then send a text from there. Then decide what to do from that place. That's the power of using oils when we've done our inner work, right? Okay, awesome. You guys are using acceptance oil, loyalty oil, very cool. Okay, so I would love to hear, creating an affirmation at the end of AFT is the final step of it. And so I would love to hear how that experience was for you guys. And while you're sharing, and I'll read that and we'll chat about it, or if you have questions, let me know. And I am going to talk a little bit more about what is actually happening as we go through this process. And I really want to encourage you that this recording will be here. You can revisit it at any time and listening to me and going through it. But one of the things I love to do is, especially if, you know, there's a bunch of people on here, if you're like, hey, I really like this, but I want some practice, or I want to do it more, I'd like to learn how to do it for other people, put on here, like, I want an AFT buddy. One of the things I did early on was I partnered up with a girl, Jamie, on our team, and I said to her, hey, if I have AFT you, will you AFT me? And we went back and forth like that until I felt really comfortable going through the process with people, and she took me through it. So it's a great way to share with people. And now I share oils with people every day, and it used to be that people wanted to know, hey, what oil do I use for a headache, or my kid is teething, or how do I break a fever? And today, so many people are looking for emotional support for them and their family. This is an easy technique to share with someone. I also have a cheat sheet. If you're interested in the cheat sheet, which goes through the steps, the 10 steps on one page, private message me and I will shoot you that file back. It's just a graphic with the 10 steps that I follow. So that could be helpful for you. The other thing is you can totally do it to yourself, especially with the cheat sheet. So the other day I was triggered. Somebody sent me a Facebook message and I was like, ah! I got all like, I can't believe she said that. And I was like, this is not how I want to feel. So my desired state that I wrote out was, I want to feel allowing of everybody to be on their own path. That's ultimately how I want to feel. And so I took myself through the process, and I went back and I released some of the emotions that I was holding that were stopping me from getting to that place. So it's a good technique to use on yourself. Okay, I'm going to check if there's any questions and stop talking away here. Oh, I love all your intentions. Oh, good job, Melissa. Yeah, it's so good to get through layers. I also want to share with you, and you guys ask questions if you have them. I did a 30 days of AFT with Dr. Perkis. So for 30 days, I met with a group of people just like this, and we did AFT, and we did the same subject, if we chose to, for the 30 days. And for me, it was a business goal. And even though I did it every day for 30 days, different stuff came up every day. So as we are living life, of course, we're creating new memories, being triggered in new ways and stuff. But as we're living life, we're we're constantly healing and having new awarenesses and releasing stuff. I mean, we have a lifetime of memories, trauma stored in our body that we can sift through. And, I don't think you ever meet anybody who says like, oh, I'm done my inner work, right? Like, it's a constantly evolving process. So if you want to try AFT for 30 days, it's super fun. Maybe you want to put a reminder on your phone. I have a friend who does this. She has a reminder in her phone every Monday to do AFT. And I love that. Okay. I love it. Okay, guys, I don't know if you have any other questions about AFT. You can look up Dr. Purkis on Facebook. If you're interested in becoming a certified practitioner, he has where you can charge for it, and that's both professional, like therapists do that, but also like a range of people, healers, massage therapists, doctors, and then you can charge for sessions with people, one-on-one sessions or group sessions. I'm not a certified practitioner. I don't charge. I use it as a tool for our family, and I use it for a tool to share with our community, because I just really am so grateful of how oils have emotionally helped me. I mean, it's helped our whole family, but I'm mostly grateful of how it's helped me, and I just love sharing that. So I'll just see if I have any other questions here. You love the cheat sheet. Yeah, around before bedtime. Yeah, I would love to hear how you guys sleep tonight. Yeah. Good. You have alarm set on your phone for several things. Yeah. Your intention was maybe too broad, Megan. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we, it's like our intention is overwhelmed. Like I just become like a highly evolved self or something. And maybe we need to be more specific. Like I'm calm in the mornings when I get my kids ready for school, right? Like I'm a calm mom in the mornings getting my kids ready for school. Like, let's just start there, and not, I am the highest creation of myself, right? So it's okay for it to be really specific and small. Okay, awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much. Feel free to private message me or post here. I will keep engaging for a little bit tonight, and for sure I can get back to you tomorrow, and I'll make sure the cheat sheets are sent out. I hope you all have a really lovely sleep. I would write your affirmation on sticky notes around, keep that oil around so that you can revisit this state, which is a more free state, because you've evolved and shed some emotional baggage from your body. And so your body's going to feel really good tonight. Make sure you drink lots of water, maybe have a detox bath with some Epsom salts and some oils, because you have done some shedding. And so honor you for that tonight. Good night.